So hi guys, so this week is going to be a rotation week. So we're going to be working through these oblique muscles. So not only are we going to rotate, we are going to be doing some forward bending and some lateral bending, because that also works this abdominal area and that corset around the centre. So these rotations, you have to be very careful with the lower back here. So the cues that I will be giving you is about keeping either the pelvis neutral or the shoulders neutral in whichever part we're twisting. So if we're twisting and turning the shoulders from the waist, if you turn, try and keep the hips neutral. So the shoulders turn, the waist is where it twists, rather than allowing those hips to come around with it. So you don't get a proper rotation if you start to twist around the hips at the same time. So this stays forward and the twist comes from the upper body. Now if we're laying down on the floor and the lower body is twisting, so say we're doing a supine twist, this is where the shoulders then stay neutral. And you take the twist over to one side, but the shoulders stay facing up to the ceiling. If you start to lift that right shoulder, maybe come out of the twist a little bit, because it means you're compensating. So that keeps that lower back safe, particularly where your SI joint is. So if you start to drop a hip, try and think about realigning it, because all that does, it puts tension on that SI joint, which is what can cause things like sciatica. The other thing as well, if you're not happy with the bind of the elbow, just think about bringing your hand to the twist and maybe bringing your other hand onto the lower back so you can get a proprioception of where the hips are in space. And you can just take a slightly smaller twist if you need to. Obviously, the more you go for the hook of the elbow, the more that twist happens. And it's also good if we're in one of these rotations here, you can always lead the shoulder first and then take the hand up to the ceiling. So I will cue all these points as we go through, but I just thought I'd mention that at the beginning of practice, because it is really good to be mindful of where the hips are, where the shoulders are, depending on what you're moving to cause the twist. If you're doing lateral flexion, you always try and keep those hips centralised as well as you're bending over from one side to the other. So if you was going to go over to your right side, try not to let your hip pop out to the side, keep it nice and balanced. I think that's everything that I need to start off with. I'll keep cueing these points as we go through. The other one is chair. So quite often when people do a twist in chair, they bring their twist to here, they start to twist, and then all of a sudden the one knee will pop forward. So make sure those knees stay aligned as you take the twist, and only twist to what your body allows you to do. It might be that you're tight in the back, but if you don't keep those knees in line, if you see what my lower back does if I go into too much of a twist and the knee takes itself forward, you can see my hip starts to come out of line. So therefore you're getting a little bit of pelvic torsion. The aim is to try and stop that, take the twist from the waist, or remember you can bring the hand to the knee and the other hand to the lower back to twist, and that will give you a better idea of where you are. So let's start this practice. Come down onto the mat. Bring your feet to the front of the mat, the hands down by the side of the body. Just allow everything just to relax as much as you can. Maybe have a little rock of those hips from side to side. Maybe a turn of the head in one direction. Bring it back through centre. Take it to the other side. Bring it back to the centre. Find that comfortable space at the back of the head. Take a long, easy breath in. And a long breath out. Relax the shoulders, the jaw. Relax through the hips. Take a scan of the body from the top of the head down to the fingertips, down to the toe tips. Just having a little mental check-in with how your body feels today. Checking any tight spots, anything that doesn't feel quite right. If you are having lower back issues, just remember to keep that pelvis nice and neutral as we make these twists. When you've taken that mental scan of the body, just bring the hands onto the belly and then just allow that breath to come a little deeper down into that belly, expanding the lungs, the belly on the inhale, and releasing that belly back towards the spine on the exhale, using either the nose or mouth, but the true yogic breath is in and out through the nose. Maybe finding that slight restriction at the back of the throat, making it a slight audible sound just to yourself in your own head. Sound of an ocean, maybe that Darth Vader kind of sound. But only doing this breath if you're not holding any colds or allergies. Just taking a moment to settle, become present before we start this practice. Expanding that belly as you breathe in. Relaxing that belly as you breathe out. Then slowly start to bring both knees in towards the chest, just giving those knees a squeeze, contracting through those hip flexors and compressing on those hips, stretching through that lower back. Maybe just lift that lower spine away from the floor slightly to draw the knees a little closer to the chest. And then think about pushing those shoulders down towards the floor to create a little space along the front of those pectoral muscles, those collarbones. And then release your left leg to the mat, straightening it out. Keep a hold of that right knee, squeeze it a little closer in. Take it across to the outside of the right rib cage and squeeze that knee towards that armpit. Then bring that knee back into the centre. Just take a hold of the right knee with the left hand. Bring your right hand out to the side in a T-shaped position. Then just with a slight twist, bring that right knee over towards your left side. Try and keep that right shoulder down. Just taking it into a little twist for the moment. That right knee doesn't have to come all the way over. Just feel the start of these twists coming into the practice. So we're really working the digestive system today. Toning, detoxifying, moving all those toxins out of the body as we twist around that abdominal space where all those major organs are. Bring that knee back into the centre, squeeze it again back in towards the chest. Bring your left knee back to meet your right. Take a hold of the left knee, let the right leg come out straight. Squeeze that knee in towards the body. Then take that left knee towards the left armpit, bringing the thigh to the outside of those left rib cages. Keep the toes active in both feet. Then bring that knee back into the centre. Keep a hold of that left knee with the right hand. Bring the left hand out to the side. Slowly, with mindful control, bring that left leg over to the right side of the mat. Maybe gaze towards that left hand. Try to keep that left shoulder plugged into the floor. The right shoulder plugged into the mat. Create that space along the chest. So this is what I was saying about taking the rotation through the centre of the body, using the twist of the pelvis this time and keeping those shoulders neutral. Then bring that knee back into the centre, bring both knees in towards the chest, give both knees a squeeze. And then just release so the knees stack over the hips. The feet are 90-degree angle to the knees 90-degree angle to the hips. Bring the hands behind the back of the head. We'll start with a little bit of core work, which we're doing yoga bicycles. So we'll be taking the rotation, the cross diagonal right rib towards the left hip first, straightening out the right leg. Take a breath in. On the out breath, bring that right elbow to the left knee, twist and straighten that right leg. On your inhale, come back to the center, taking it nice and slow. On your exhale, left elbow to the right knee, lifting that left shoulder away, straightening through the left leg. Bring it back to the center. Think about that diagonal of hip to rib. On your out breath, bring your right elbow, left knee, straighten out that right leg. Back to the center, keep drawing that belly back towards the spine, pushing the lower back into the mat. Left elbow to right knee, left leg straightens. Come back to the center, knees in line, and the same to the other side. Right elbow to the left knee. Squeeze that right rib to the left hip. Back to the center, same the other side. Left elbow to right knee. Rotate and twist, using that abdominal strength. Back to the center, and again to the left. Right elbow to left knee, straighten the right leg. Keep pushing that lower spine into the mat. Back to the center. Left elbow to the right knee, straighten the left leg. Bring it back to the center, keep squeezing that belly back. Same, one more on each side. Right elbow to left knee, squeezing the right rib to the left hip. Back to the center. Left elbow, right knee, straighten the left leg. Left rib to right hip. Back to the center. Release the head down. Bring the knees back into the chest. Squeeze them nice and tight. Push those shoulders down. Then we're going to make our way rocking up to seated. Take a crease of the knees with the hands. Rock up and down a few times. Coming up to seated once. Coming up to seated twice. And then this time, finding your seat, crossing the feet under the body or swinging those legs around, coming on to the hands and knees, knees under the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Just take a couple of rounds of cat-cow here, lifting the head and the bum on the inhale and folding everything back in on the exhale. Feel that stretch through the belly that you've just been contracting. And again, lift the head, lift the bum, and fold everything back in, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. One more of these. Just articulating that spine in flexion and extension. And then the next time you come back to that neutral space, hold it in that place. Put the weight into your left hand, raise your right hand up to the ceiling. Try and keep that pelvis neutral. We're rotating from the waist, turning from the shoulders. And then bring your right hand underneath your left hand, left knee. To find that rotation, think about both knees being grounded, pushing into the left knee, pushing into the right knee, keep the pelvis neutral. Then if you wish to raise that left hand up towards the ceiling, pushing into that right forearm to create that twist through the waist. Think about the knees. Are you pushing the weight more into the right side? If you are, try and neutralise the weight into both knees. Then maybe bring that left hand behind the back to find a bind onto that right thigh. Keep pushing strong into the right forearm. Lift maybe more through that left shoulder, but don't compensate through the hips. Keep pushing that left knee into the mat. If you're unhappy with that left hand lifted, bring it back by the side of the face. If you don't feel the neck is in a good position. Holding it just for one more breath in this rotation. Then bring that left hand back down to the side of the face. Push into the left hand, raise that right hand. Slowly twist yourself to the right side of the room. Knees both weighted in equal. Bring that right hand back down to meet the left. Take a round of cat-cow just to neutralise the spine. Breath in, lift up the head, drop the belly, lift the bum. Breath out, fold everything in, chin to chest, tailbone tuck, centre of the spine, legs. Come back to a neutral space to take that on the left side. Raise the left hand, weight into the right hand, twist around to the left. And then thread that left hand underneath the right arm. Bring that left ear to the mat. Ground into that left forearm. If you want to raise the hand, then raise the hand to the ceiling. Neutralise the weight into both knees so that pelvis stays neutral. Lifting that right shoulder a little more. Maybe finding the bind with that right hand onto that left thigh. Lifting the right shoulder a little higher. Using the strength of that left forearm to open and twist to the right. Knees neutral, weight in both. One more breath in this position. And then release that right hand down to the mat. Push into the right hand, raise the left hand, turn and twist to the left side. Then bring that left hand back down to meet the right. Step both feet back to a plank. Find your plank position just for a few breaths. Heels back, crown forward, soft elbows. But push into those hands to push that chest cavity into the back space between the shoulder blades. Keep that core strength and center nice and strong. Then start to paddle the feet as you bring yourself to your first downward facing dog of the day. Taking then, when you're ready, the stillness of the down dog, encouraging the heels back. If you need to bend the knees slightly, if the lower backs feel tight, bend the knees. Pushing into those hands, creating some space through the collarbones. Pushing that chest back towards those thighs. Intention of the heels getting towards the mat as close as they can. So we're going to take 2 vinyasas. We're taking option 2, option 3, but if you want to drop the knees, feel free to do so. Come forward to a plank on the inhale. Release, lower to the floor with a straight body. Drop the knees if you need to. Untuck the toes, push into the hands, lift up the chest. Release the chest down, tuck under the toes, bring the chest back to the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips and squeeze those heels back. If you want to stick option 2 or if you want to option 1, feel free to do so or drop the knees. Option 2, chaturanga, come forward to a plank. Release so we hover off the floor, elbows graze the ribs. Roll over the toes, lift up the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Then taking your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels towards the floor. Bring the right leg up towards the ceiling. Straighten it as much as you can. Hips stay neutral. Lift the right foot higher, left heel to the floor. Then bring the knee into the chest, then take that right knee over to the left elbow. Shoulders come over the heel of the hands. Then raise that leg again back up to the ceiling. And again, bring that knee to the chest. Bring that right knee towards the left elbow and twist and squeeze. Raise that right leg again back up towards the ceiling. Then bring that knee this time just to the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step your right foot through. Drop down onto the back knee and uncurl those toes. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Then bring your right hand onto your right hip. Then lateral flex over to that right side with the left hand. Keep those pelvises neutral. Try not to let that hip push out too much to the left. Keep it centralized, stretch through the waist, contract on the right side, lengthening up through that left arm as much as you can. Then bring those shoulders back to neutral. Bring both hands down either side of the right foot, tuck the back toes under. Step back to plank. Release down to the floor or hover, whichever works for you. Drop the knees if you need to. Push into the hands and lift up the chest. Release the chest down or roll straight over your toes with straight legs back to down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back, ready to take that lateral flexion on that left side. Breath in, raise that left leg, right heel to the mat, left heel lifting as high as you can without the pelvis turning. Then bring that left knee to the chest, send the left knee to the right elbow and squeeze shoulders over the heel of the hands. Raise that leg again back up towards the ceiling, straight leg, right heel to the floor. Bring that knee into the chest, take it over to the right elbow, twist and squeeze. Raise that left leg again, back up to the ceiling. Straight legs, neutral hips. Bring that knee into the chest, gaze in between the hands, step that foot through. Drop down onto the back knee and curl the toes. Raise up with the arms, coming up to low lunge. Left hand on the left hip this time. Reach over with the right hand. Try not to nudge hips out one side or the other. Keep them neutral in the centre. Lateral flex that waist. Stretching the obliques on the right side, contracting the obliques on the left side. Keep pushing into both feet. Top of the back foot, whole of the front foot. Try not to let that right shoulder creep up as you're reaching over to that left side. Hold it just for one more breath. Then release the hands down either side of the left foot, tuck the back toes under, step back to plank. Finish off a vinyasa of your choice, either straight bodies to the floor or to hover or drop the knees. Roll over the toes, lift up the chest, thighs stay away if you've done chaturanga. Then take it back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back or chest back to thighs. Next breath in, raise your right leg, hips stay neutral, lift that leg as high as you can. Then bring that right knee to the chest, then over to the left elbow, shoulders over the heel of the hands. Raise that leg again, back up to the ceiling. And again, bring that right knee across to that left elbow and twist. Raise that leg again. Then bring that knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands, step that right foot through, drop that back knee and curl the back toes. Left hand stays down, right hand to the shoulder, twist and turn the body. And then lift that right hand to the ceiling. So we're trying to aim to not drop that left hip. Keep that neutral pelvis, twist from the waist. The shoulders are the thing that turns towards the right side. The gaze up towards that thumb. We push strong into the front foot, strong into the top of the back foot. Nice neutral pelvis. A rotation. Squeezing that digestive system, releasing those toxins. Then bring that right hand back down, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, step back to plank. Vinyasa of your choice, either releasing all the way to the floor or hover. Lift the chest, remember you can drop the knees if you need to. Or finding a way back to down dog, whichever variation, either straight legs or chest back to thighs. Next breath in, raise your left leg, hips stay neutral, right heel to the mat. Bring that left knee across towards that right elbow and squeeze. Raise that left leg again, back up to the ceiling. And again, bring that left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Raise that leg back up towards the ceiling. Bring that knee to the chest. This time step that leg through. Drop that back knee and curl those back toes. Right hand stays down, left hand to the shoulder, twist and turn. Raise then that left hand to the ceiling. Try not to hyperextend through that right arm that's grounded. Try not to let that right hip drop. Take that rotation through the waist. The inhale elongates, the exhale we twist. One more breath in this rotation, low lunge. Then bring that left hand back down. Step back to a plank, tucking the back toes under, and finish your vinyasa from here. Either hover or straight to the floor. Roll up, lift up the chest. Making your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Come back forward to a plank position. Either dropping the right knee or keeping it lifted, making our way onto our side body. So we get in that side angle plank. So that right hand is grounded. We're on the right side of the body. Bring that left hand to the back of the head. Just step your left foot slightly forward so we've got some stability. Or if you've got that right knee grounded, just holding it in that position. Then from this position, we're taking 4 rotations, left elbow to right elbow. Breathe in. Breathe out and twist. Breathe in, lift that left elbow. 3 more, breathe out, twist. Lift that elbow. 2 more, twist. Lift that left elbow. 1 more, and twist. Lift that left elbow. Bring that left hand down to the floor, full plank position. Roll over, this time onto your left side, maybe you drop that left knee. Bring that right hand behind the back of the head. Either step that right foot slightly in front of the left if you're full plank. As you breathe out, twist. As you breathe in, lift. 3 more, breathe out, twist. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, twist. Keep that neutral pelvis. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, twist. Try not to let that right hip drop down. Breathe in and lift. Release that right hand down, find full plank position. Holding it in plank just for a couple of breaths. Pushing nice and strong into that mat with the hands into those toes, heels back, crown forward, chest pushing away from the floor, belly is squeezing back, rib and hip tether. Start to paddle the feet as you start to lift up the hips, moving those hips from side to side, maybe taking a nod and a shake of the head. Then start to walk the feet towards the front of the mat, bringing yourself into a forward fold, but a ragdoll style. Bend the knees, take a hold of the elbows, give that head a nod, give that head a shake, maybe a little movement through the shoulders. Bring those feet to hip width apart, your breath in, start to curl up through that spine, 1 vertebra at a time, bringing yourself all the way up to standing, rolling those shoulders back. So we're going to take a couple of sun salutations here just to get that body a little warmer. Breath in, raise the hands up towards the ceiling. Breath out, fold over those legs, bend the knees as much as you need to. Breath in, come up to a half lift. Breath out, plant the hands, step the right foot back, step the left foot back. Lower to the floor, your variation, either hover or to the mat, straight body. Roll over the toes and lift up the chest. Taking yourself back to down dog, either chest to thighs or lifting the hips. Heels come towards the floor. Take a long breath in. Long breath out. Step your right foot through, your left foot through. Forward fold over the legs. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Palms come together at the top. Breath out, hands to chest. Samastiti. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Breath out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, step the left foot back, step the right foot back. Release to the floor or hover. Roll through, up, lift up the chest. Make your way back to down dog, either chest to thighs or rolling straight over those toes, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Take a long breath in, long breath out. Step your left foot through, your right foot through, fold over those legs. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling, palms come together at the top. Breath out, hands to the chest, Samastiti. Reach the hands up to the ceiling, bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, send the hands over to the right side, lateral flexion through the waist. Try not to let that left hip push over too much. Keep that neutral spine, keep that tailbone tucked, feeling the contraction of the right side, the lengthening of the left. Breath in, come back to the centre. Breath out, send the hands over to the left. Try not to let the hips push over to the right. Keep grounded in that right foot, pushing the weight into the floor. Keep grounded in the left foot, but try not to make too much weight go to that left side. Equal it out. Breath in, bring yourself back to the centre. Release the grip. Bring your left hand forward, your right hand back. Try not to turn from the hips. Keep them neutral. It's the shoulders that are turning. The twist is coming from the waist. Try not to let that left hip pop forward. Breath in, bring those hands back up to the centre. This time, right hand forward, left hand back. Rotate. If you wish to take that hand to the back, if it's not comfortable to twist, feel like you're bringing a little pressure out of those arms. Breath in, lift those hands again back up towards the ceiling. Release the hands down behind the body. Widen the feet a little bit. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders together. As you breathe out, start to bend from the hips. If you need to bend the knees, feel free to do so. As you fold that chest over the thighs, maybe lifting those hands away from the lower back to get that stretch through the shoulders. Listen to your shoulders. Do they feel comfortable in this position? If not, bring those hands back to the spine. Think about the weight in the whole of the feet. If you're rocking to the outside edges, push into the big toes. If you're dropping inwards, push into the little toes. Feel that grounding through the whole of the foot. Heel of the foot, ball of the foot, nice and centralised with the body. One more breath here. Then release the hands down to the floor. Step both feet back to a plank. And take a vinyasa of your choice. Releasing down either to hover or to the floor. Keeping strong in the centre. Pushing into the hands and lifting up the chest. Taking it back to down dog, either chest to thighs, or rolling straight over those toes, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Breath in, raise the right leg, left heel stays grounded, right heel lifts as high as it can without the right hip lifting. Then bring that right knee across to the left elbow and squeeze. Raise that leg again back up to the ceiling, straighten the leg, neutralise the hips. Bring that right knee to the left elbow and squeeze. Raise that leg again back up to the ceiling, neutral hips. Then this time bring your right foot through in between the hands. Stay grounded in both feet. Raise the hands up to the ceiling. Sink the hips low. Maybe micro bend the knee. Neutralise the pelvis. Straighten the leg back out. Right hand onto the right hip. Lateral flexion over to the right side. Try not to let the hips move from the centre line. Try not to let the left shoulder squeeze up to the ear. Keep a nice deep bend in that right knee. Trying to feel that stability through the feet to keep that body nice and stable and in balance. Always a little more challenging when you're on the toes of the back foot. Bring the shoulders back to the centre. Bring the left hand down to the floor. Bring your right hand onto your shoulder, twist and turn the chest. Try not to let that left hip drop. Raise the right hand up towards the ceiling. Maybe gaze up towards that thumb. Try and stack the left shoulder underneath the right without the compensation coming through the hips. Keep a bend into that right knee, the left leg stays nice and straight. Long, easy breaths, the elongation on the inhale, the rotation on the exhale. Remember, if that right hand needs to come to the lower back, feel free to do so. Work with what feels right on your body. So we're going to bring this to a reverse warrior now. So slowly lift that torso away from that right thigh, bringing the shoulders up, hips stay facing the short edge, shoulders turn to the right edge to find that reversed, the twisted warrior. Right shoulder squeezing back, left shoulder turning forward. Remember, right hand can still be on that lower back if you wish, if that feels comfortable for the shoulders. One more breath, really squeezing those oblique muscles to make that twist. And then windmill the hands down, either side of that right foot. Step back to a plank. Make your way through your vinyasa, either moving all the way to the floor or a hover. Lifting the chest into your version of up dog or cobra, then making your way back to your down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. Take a nice long easy breath in through the nose. Long sigh out through the mouth. Next breath in, the left leg lifts. Right heel to the floor. Lift that left leg as high as you can. Then bring that left knee across the body to that right elbow. Raise that leg again back up to the ceiling. And again, left knee to the right elbow. Lift that leg back up to the ceiling. Knee into the chest. Gaze in between the hands as you step that left foot through. Stabilise the feet first. Find your high lunge second. Little bend in the back knee. Neutralise the pelvis. Rib and hip tether. Straighten that right leg back out. Left hand comes onto the left hip without the hips moving from the centre line. Reach over with that right hand. Lateral flex the left. Strengthen and lengthen that, the right side. Relax the right shoulder to the hip. Try not to hold any tension around that neck. One more breath, stretching over to the left side. Then bring those shoulders back to the middle. Bring the right hand down to the floor. Left hand onto the shoulder. Twist and rotate. When you've found where the shoulders can get to, then raise that left hand to the ceiling or bring that left hand to the lower back. Keep bent in that left knee, straight through the right leg. Right hand is the anchor to help the twist. Keeping that rotation coming without that right hip dropping any lower than the left. Maybe gazing up to that left thumb if it's happy for the neck. Long, easy breaths in. Long breaths out. Then stabilise nicely into the feet as you then slowly raise that torso up to find that twisted warrior. Remember the left hand can still be on the lower back if you wish. Hips face the short edge, shoulders face the long edge. Rotate through this centre part of the body. Try not to arch the lower back, keep that tailbone tucked under. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Either arms out wide or that left hand to the back. One more breath in this position. Then wiggle the hands down, either side of the left foot, step it back to a plank. Finish a vinyasa of your choice, working your way either all the way to the mat or hover. Lift the chest, make your way back to down dog, lifting those hips, squeezing those heels back to the floor, or chest to thighs, or making your way back here. So come forward to a plank again, hold your plank, then drop down with your right knee, take the right foot off the mat, turn, put your weight into your right side, left hand lifts to the ceiling, then forward to the front of the mat, left leg lifts to hip high. On your breath out, squeeze elbow to knee, use the oblique on the left side to squeeze, breath in, lengthen, breath out, squeeze, breath in, lengthen, breath out, squeeze, breath in, lengthen, one more time, breath out, squeeze, breath in, lengthen. Bring that left hand back down, step back to a plank position, hold it in plank just for a couple of breaths, drawing that belly back, squeezing the bum, lifting the kneecaps with the thighs, then send those hips back, whether paddling or just lifting the hips back to your downward facing dog space. So next positions we're going to take is reverse triangle and then pyramid pose. Breath in, raise your right leg, left heel to the floor, hips neutral, right knee to the left elbow, rotate and squeeze. Raise that right leg, back up to the ceiling, right knee, left elbow, and squeeze. Raise that right leg, back up to the ceiling, bring the knee to the chest, gaze in between the hands, step your right foot through. Step your left foot slightly forward, drop the heel, raise the arms up to the ceiling, shoulders and hips facing the short edge, right hand onto the right hip, reach forward with that left hand, bring that left hand to the inside of that right leg, or bring it onto the floor, or if you wish to use a block or a book, bring that block to the outside edge of the right foot. Find the twist first, encourage the left hip forward, right hip back, twist from the waist, turn the shoulders. Then if you want to raise that right hand up to the ceiling, find that rotation of triangle, Or bring that right hand to the lower back, twisting around, not letting that left hip go back, squeezing it forward, not letting the right hip come forward, squeezing it back. Remember, you can take that hand all the way to the floor if you've got that range of movement, or raise that right hand to the ceiling if you want to get that full expression. Both legs nice and straight, hips face neutral, shoulders turn to the right. One more breath in reverse triangle. Then bring that right hand back to the hip. Lift the shoulders. Bring yourself back so shoulders are over the hips. Stacked up, ready for our pyramid pose. So toes of the right foot forward, toes of the left foot 45 degrees. Bring the hands to either grabbing hold of the elbows or find reverse prayer. Breathe in, elongate, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you breathe out, fold over that right leg. As much as you can, take another long breath in, maybe create a little more space. As you breathe out, draw that belly back, squeeze that digestive system. Again, don't let that left hip drop back, encourage it forward. The right hip, encourage it back. Try and push into those palms if you've got reversed palm prayer. Or hold on to those elbows, create some space through the front of the chest. Push into the big toe of that right foot, so we've got that full grounding of that right foot. Push into the whole of the left foot. Use that breath to maybe find a little more depth, that hamstring stretch on that right leg. One more breath here. Then lift the chest. Step forward to the front of the mat. Release the hands. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Breath out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, step the right foot back, step your left foot back. Finish a vinyasa of your choice, making your way back to down dog, either chest to thighs, or rolling straight over those straight legs, rolling over the toes with straight legs. So we're going to take that exact same on the left side. Breath in, raise up with your left leg. Squeeze that right heel to the floor, hips neutral. Bring that left knee towards the right elbow, squeezing and twisting the body. Raise that leg back up to the ceiling. And again, left knee, right elbow, and squeeze. Raise that leg again. Bring that knee into the chest. Take a gaze in between the hands as you step your left foot through. Step your right foot slightly closer, drop the heel, toes at 45 degrees. Raise the arms up, shoulders over the hips. Bring your left hand onto the left hip, then reach forward with the right hand. Bring it to the outside edge of the left leg. Either place your block there or your hand there. When you've found the legs, let the right hip come forward, left hip come back. Find the twist, maybe the left hand onto the shoulder. Then raise that left hand up to the ceiling or keep it on the lower back. Using the long breath in to create length through the spine and the long breath out to use those oblique muscles to make a little more twist. Maybe that hand is lifted, left shoulder stacking on top of the right, head in line with the spine. Use those muscles in the neck to hold that pose. Push into the back foot, push into the front foot. Is that right hip creeping back? If it is, squeeze it forward, send the left hip back. One more breath here. Then bring that left hand back to the hip. Raise up with the shoulders. Find the arms for our pyramid pose, either elbows or find that reverse pair. Roll the shoulders back, hips neutral, shoulders neutral to the front edge. Breathe in, elongate, breathe out, and fold over that left leg. Don't let the right hip drop back. Breathe another breath in, create space, breath out. Find that fold, working again through that digestive system. Really working all sides of that body, the waist, the belly, using the muscles in the back. Push into that big toe side of the left foot, push into the palms, try and create that space in the chest. breath in, come back up to standing. Release the hands, step your right foot to the front of the mat. Breath in, raise the hands up to the ceiling. Breath out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back to a plank. Find that vinyasa of yours, working with your energy levels. The hover is a lot more challenging. The lower to the floor is still a challenge, but just reduces the strength slightly. Take a little paddle through the feet. Nod and shake of the head. Bring those heels to stillness. Come forward to a plank position. Roll over onto your right side, either dropping that back base knee if you need to. If you've dropped the base knee, reach the right hand slightly forward. Hip drops. Take a breath in. Breath out, drop the right hip to the floor. Breath in, lift that left hip high. Breath out, right hip to the floor. Breath in, left hip high. Remember, you can do this with straight legs if you wish. Breath out, right hip to the floor. Breath in, lift that left hip high. Breath out, right hip to the floor. Breath in, lift that hip to the sky. Find that neutral space. Come back to your full plank position. Then roll over onto your left side. So I'm going to do straight legs this time. If you need to come onto the knee, move that left hand forward. Breath in, breath out, drop the hip. Breath in, lift the right hip. Breath out, drop the left hip. Breath in, lift. Breath out, drop. Breath in, lift. Breath out, drop. Breath in, lift. Then find your way back to plank. Move your way back to down dog. Come down onto the knees. Maybe take a little water break or child's pose. Whatever feels best for you. Whatever your body requires. It may be a restorative breath. It may be water. All the time checking in with what's happening within your own body. So the next two poses we'll be doing is chair pose with a rotation. And we'll be doing figure four balance with a twist. If you don't want to take the twists in any of them and the lower back is starting to niggle a little bit, remember those twists can be not so deep, the hands on the knees or hands on the lower back. When you're ready, find yourself back in down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Breath in, raise up the right leg. Breath out, right knee, left elbow, squeeze those obliques. Breath in, raise that right leg. Breath out, right knee, left elbow, squeeze, lift that leg. This time, right foot in between the hands. Hold it in low lunge. Then step your left foot to meet your right. Have those feet hip width apart. Bend into the knees. Reach the arms up towards the ears. Find chair pose first. Sink the hips. Gaze maybe to the hands. Tuck the tailbone down, draw the belly back. Then bring the hands to the chest. Either the left hand to the right knee or the left elbow to the right knee. Breathe in, elongate the spine, breathe out and find that rotation. So left knee shouldn't pop any further forward than that right knee to keep that pelvis neutral. Keep the hips low. Maybe that right hand comes onto the lower back. Maybe the left hand comes onto the knee and your twist is that way. If you want to make it deeper, put the palms together or the right fist in the left palm and use that as the anchor to help the twist. Stabilise into the feet, maybe a little feather-like touch through those toes. Long breath in, long breath out to rotate. Left knee, try and keep it in line with that right side. One more breath in this position. Then bring yourself back to a chair, arms up high, sink the hips low, tuck the tailbone under, belly drawn back. Then straighten up through the legs, bring the palms together at the chest, Weight into the left foot, raise the right leg to the ceiling, to the hip height, Turn the knee, right ankle onto the top of the left knee, then bend into that left leg, bring that chest down towards that right foot, then try and take that right elbow or right hand onto the sole of that right foot. Use the anchor of the elbow or the hand to maybe twist that body towards that left side of the room. Keeping that left knee bent, twist from the waist, turning from that waist, turning the shoulders to the left side of the mat. One more breath here. Then bring yourself back to the centre. Right leg meets the left. Breath in, raise the hands to the ceiling. Breath out, find a forward fold over those legs. Bend the knees if you need to. Breath in, come up to half lift. Breath out, plant the hands, step the right foot back, step the left foot back. Your vinyasa here, release to a hover or to the floor. Roll over the toes, lift up the chest. Make your way back to down dog, lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. All to be taken on that left side. Breath in, raise that left leg. Breath out, bend the knee, left elbow to the right, left knee to right elbow. Lift that left leg. Left knee, right elbow. Lift that leg. Bring that left foot in between the hands. Just hold in high lunge for a breath, low lunge for a breath. Step your right foot to meet your left. Have those feet hip width apart. Bend the knees, bring the seat low. Lift the arms, find chair just for a couple of breaths. Maybe gaze to the hands, relax the shoulders. Drop the hips lower, draw the belly back, tuck the tailbone down. Bring the hands then to the chest. Either the right elbow or right hand to left knee. Hook it over. Breathe in, elongate. Breathe out, twist. Check the right knees in line with the left. Maybe the left hand's on the back and the right hand's on the left knee. Still finding that twist, but with a little less pressure. Or getting that twist a little stronger. Either bringing both hands together or left fist into the right palm. Rotating and twisting. Getting into those muscles in the back that get notoriously tight. One more breath in this position. Then release out of the twist. Bring the arms back up. Bring the seat low in chair just for a breath. Then bring the hands back to the chest. Straighten up through the legs. Bring your weight into your right foot. Lift your left knee. Turn the knee out. Left ankle onto the top of the right thigh. Bend into that right leg. Start to bring the chest towards that left foot. Either left hand on the sole of the foot and the right hand on the back, or the left elbow to try and meet that left sole of the foot. And use that anchor to twist that body around to the right. This might feel a little tight in hips, maybe tight in lower backs, in shoulders. You may fall out. If you fall out, find your way back in. Holding it here in this rotation, figure 4, just for a breath. Then bring yourself back out. Let the left foot come to the floor. Raise the hands up to the ceiling, palms come together. As you breathe out, fold over those legs. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Finish a vinyasa of your choice. Rolling through, up, lifting the chest. Making your way back to down dog. Lifting the hips, squeezing those heels back. Take a long, easy breath in. Long breath out. Raise up the right leg. Bring that right knee to the left elbow. Squeeze. Raise that right leg. Right knee, left elbow. And squeeze and twist. Raise that right leg. Bring that right foot in between the hands. Walk the hands around to the left side of the mat. If you need to block under the hands, block under the hands. Turn the toes slightly in, the heels out, straight back. Bring your left hand into the centre, right hand onto the shoulder. Turn the shoulders, try not to let that left hip drop down. Raise that right hand to the ceiling. Take that rotation in the wide leg forward fold. Maybe gaze up to that right thumb. Try not to lock out the left elbow. Keep a little micro bend in there, protect that joint. Push it into the outside edges of the feet. Long, easy breaths. Bring that right hand back down. Allow the body to fold over those legs. Give that head a nod and a shake. On your breath in, come up to a half lift. This time right hand stays in the centre, left hand comes onto the shoulder. Turn the shoulders first, don't let the right hip drop. Then raise that left hand, maybe raise that gaze. Maybe you find one side definitely a little tighter than the other, which is definitely within my body. Try not to lock that right elbow out. Stretch up through that left hand. Then release both hands down. Let the head fold. Bring that body up to half lift. Walk the hands back around towards that right foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. And Vinyasa through of your choice. Nice and slowly does your Vinyasas. Make it controlled, make it meaningful. Lifting the hips, squeezing the heels back. So we're going to be taking a sumo squat on the other side, just to make it slightly different, but to still move that left body the same as we did on the right. Breath in, left leg lifts. Breath out, left knee, right elbow. Left leg lifts, right heel to the floor. Left knee, left elbow. Left knee, right elbow. Left leg to the ceiling. Bring the knee to the chest. Gaze in between the hands, step it through. Turn around towards the right side of the mat, toes pointing out, bend the knees. Curl up through the spine. Keeping the knees bent, bring the arms, palms together, elbows separated, bums as low as you can take them. Then bring your right elbow to the right knee. Twist then the chest to the ceiling. Keep the hips low. Bring that body back to the centre. Bring your left elbow to the left thigh and twist. Bring that body back to the centre. This time left elbow to the right knee and twist. Maybe actually bring that left hand to the right knee and twist. Back to the centre. Right hand, left knee, left hand behind the back, twist. Back to the centre. Straighten the legs. Turn back towards the front of the mat. Release the hands. Set both feet back, plank position. Release down slowly. Roll up and through, up dog. Back to down dog, lifting the hips. Squeezing those heels back. Take a nice long, easy breath in. Long breath out. Make your way into a seat. Bums in the centre, feet to the front of the mat. Maybe take a little water on here, just to nourish that body, hydrate the body. As we're going to be doing a little bit of core work in bow, but we're going to be doing our twisted version, our bond version of bow, as I call it. So we're going to find that balancing point between the sit bones, the lower spine, placing the hands underneath the knees, rolling the shoulders back. When you're ready, lift one leg up to knee height, lift the other. Find that good balance first. Then release the hands from the knees. If you don't wish to come this far, keep the hands behind the back of the legs. Bring the palms together, interlace the last 3 fingers, index finger pointing forward. Take the arms over to your right, twist the waist, send your feet over to the left and maybe straighten those legs. Taking that rotation of the waist but holding those oblique muscles in this position of bow. Come back to the centre, bend those knees again. Then take the hands over to the left, take the feet over to the right, either straight legs or bent knees. Hold it here for a breath. Bring it back to the centre. Release the feet, hug the knees. We'll be doing that 3 more times. Remember, take it wherever you want it to be. If you don't want to do the rotations, just hold on to the back of the knees or just release the knees, keeping the body in the centre. So finding that space again. Come back between the sit bones and the lower spine. Lift one leg, lift the other. Release the hands if you come in with me. Palms come together, interlace the last 3 fingers, maybe fold the thumbs over to the opposite sides. Then take the hands over to your right, take your feet over to the left. Point, raise, lift the chest, try not to arch the lower back. Bring it back to the centre. Take the hands over to the left, the feet over to the right, point or keep the knees bent. Come back to the centre, release the feet, hug the knees, straighten through the back, roll the shoulders, maybe tuck that chin into the chest. Stretch the back of that neck. One more time, if you don't wish to come to this, just bring the feet forward, maybe do a forward fold. Bring one leg up, bring up the other, release the hands, maybe stay here if you wish, interlace the fingers, right hand to the right, hands to the right, feet to the left, straighten the legs if you wish, feel that oblique strength kicking in from that rotation, come back to the centre, hands to the left, feet to the right, push and lengthen through the legs if you can, or keep them bent. Back to the centre, release the feet, let the knees drop out to the side and just fold over those legs, maybe holding on to the feet, turning the soles of the feet up. Let those hip flexors just relax for a couple of breaths. So keeping the feet at the front of the mat, I'm just turning towards the camera. I'll be mirror imaging you here. Have a little paddle of those legs. First of all, we'll take a fold, breath in, raise the hands to the ceiling, lengthen up through the waist. Take a breath out, fold over those legs. Bring the hands to wherever they reach, either the back of the shins, the ankles, the sides of the feet, the big toes. Long breath in. Push the chest forward, the ribs forward. Breath out, squeeze those abdominals to try and find that fold a little deeper over those thighs. Then bring those bodies back up to straight. Take a bend into your right knee, bring the right foot over your left leg. Reach up with the left arm, hook that left elbow over that right knee. Bring your right hand behind, elongate on the inhale, twist on the exhale. So now it's a little easier to keep that pelvis neutral because it's already supported and grounded into the floor. Remember, if that elbow's too much, bring the right hand to that the left hand to that right knee and just use the breath to find that twist. Long breath in, long breath out. Then counter pose back to the left side. Just hold it there for a breath. Then bring your right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Then widen that left leg out a little further to the side of the mat. Bring your left arm down to the inside of the left leg. Just let that elbow bend. Bring your right hand onto your shoulder. Turn that shoulder out.
Then raise up with that right hand, then reach over towards that left side of the room. Maybe bring that elbow of that left a little closer to the floor, lateral flexing through that waist, stretching through that right side, contracting the left. Trying to keep that chest pointing forward as much as you can. Feeling everything that's happening within that body. Bring that hand back up, straighten up through the torso. Bring both legs back out to the front, give those legs a little paddle. Ready to take that on the other side. So this time, taking a bend into your left leg, bring it over that right thigh. Reach up with the right hand, either bring that right hand to the left knee or the right elbow to the left knee. Bring the left hand behind, elongate on the inhale, rotate on the exhale. Active feet on that right leg. Long breath in, long breath out. Remember, reduce it if you need to, if it's too much on that back. But those sit bones should be grounded. It should be keeping that pelvis nice and stable. And that twist can come good through the waist. Shoulders come along for the trip. The key to get more range of movement is usually within that breath. One more breath here. Then release to counterpose the twist to the other side. Then bringing that left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Take that right leg out a little further. Bring the right hand down to the floor. Let that elbow relax. Bring your left hand onto the shoulder. Turn the shoulders out. Open the chest to the front. Reach up through that hand of the left. Then reach over to the right side of the room. Feel that stretch down that left waist. Contraction through the right. Feeling that work through those abdominals, through the oblique muscles, the transverse muscles. The whole of that corset in the centre of the body has had a really good workout today with the forward folds, the lateral bends, the twists, to detox, tone, and find that digestive system to help it work better. Getting rid of anything that that body doesn't need. Bring that body back up into the centre. Bring both legs out to the front of the mat. Give those legs a paddle. Then with control, slowly make your way down to the floor, either with bent knees or straight legs. It's harder with bent knees as you don't use the long limbs quite so much. Bring the body down, shoulders to the floor. Bring the knees into the chest, just give those knees a little squeeze. We're going to take it into a bridge back bend, as back bends haven't come that regular in the practice other than in Vinyasas, so we'll just neutralise those forward folds with taking a bridge. Feet down on the floor, hands down by the sides of the body, push into the hands, push into the feet, slowly and controlled. Feel that body peel away from the floor. Try not to let the knees come any further than hip width apart. Bringing that chest towards that chin, creating some space at the back of the neck. Squeezing the bum to lift those hips as high as you can take them. Feeling that stretch along those hip flexors. Push in a little more, lift those hips a little higher. Gaze is up to the ceiling. And then as controlled as you went up, bring those hips back down to the mat, feeling each vertebra come to the floor one by one. And when those lower backs have come back to the mat, bring the knees together in the centre, heel toe the feet out to the width. Bring the arms to cactus arms or T-shape. Let the knees softly drop over to your right side, your gaze to the left. Try not to work at doing anything, let gravity hold the legs in the position they've fell to. Feel the stretch down those hip flexors, again from doing twists, from doing lots of forward folds. you'll probably be really appreciating this stretch in the front body as we just start to bring things down into that calmer space, starting to notice the benefits of the practice, starting to consolidate everything that we've done over this last just over an hour. Bring the knees back into the centre. Just take a moment with those with those hips internally rotated, and then take those knees over to your left. Your gaze is over to your right. Let everything relax and fall. Feel that stretch down the hip flexors. Long, easy breaths. Try not to force anything, just let the body relax, the shoulders, the jaw, the forehead. Bring those knees then back to the centre, just let them drop internally for a breath. Then heel toe the feet back together. Let the knees drop out to the sides, soles of the feet come together in the centre. Maybe just have a little rock of those knees from side to side. Feel that little massage in the lower back. Bring those knees to stillness. Choice to either be to stay here or bring those legs out long into the full Shavasana space. If these legs being out wide feel good for you right now, just hold it here. Just let everything relax from the toes to the fingertips to the crown of the head. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose and a long sigh out through the mouth. And again in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just let your breath be its own automatic, natural breathing pattern. So if you wish to stay here for a little longer, pause me now. And if you wish to continue back into seated, maybe give those fingers and toes a wriggle. Maybe encourage those knees back into the centre with the hands if they're bent. Or bring the knees into the chest if the legs are out long. Give those knees a hug, a little rock of the body from side to side. Maybe make some circles with the knees in one direction, again getting into that lower back. Make circles to the other way. Bring the knees back into the chest. Take a hold of the crease of the knees. Just rock up and down the spine a couple of times. Once to seated, back down. Twice to seated, back down. And this time when you come to seated, keeping the eyes closed, finding either your seat with cross-legged or on the knees. Place the hands on top of the thighs. Take a roll of the shoulders up towards the ears. Release them then back towards the hips. As you breathe in, bring the hands up and over the head. Palms together at the top. Bring the hands back to the chest. Soft gaze to the floor. Have peace in your thoughts. Have peace in your words. Have peace in your hearts. From my heart to yours, Namaste.